Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by New Stopette, America's leading spray deodorant. The lotion spray deodorant that's like balm to your skin. Poof! There goes perspiration. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal-American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
We have a guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the distinguished author of The Caine Mutiny and the bestseller Marjorie Morningstar, Mr. Herman Wouk.
Well, the honor falls to me of introducing my old boss from radio days, America's great humorist, Fred Allen.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Herman. In the radio days, the people left. They weren't fired as they are in television. But as a matter of fact, I wouldn't recognize you tonight except I saw your picture on the new Colliers coming out and your story in there, and I just want to say that you look so affluent, I didn't recognize you from the underpaid days when you were with me. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I take great pride in presenting my son, a famous Allen, Mr. Steve.
Thank you very much, Father. And now I'd like to introduce a very dear friend of mine whom I haven't, I'm sorry to say, seen in quite some time. Your good friend, too, John Daly. Thank you, panel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line? We're up to our old tricks tonight. Actually, I think the panel will be interested to know that we thought Bennett Cerf might be among us before the night was out, but George Goebel is still chasing them all over the United States looking for that interview they never got last night. We're up to, as I said, our usual tricks. We have a panel of distinguished authors with us tonight. Miss Dorothy has her nationally syndicated column. You know Mr. Wouk's work, and you know Fred Allen's work, Treadmill to Oblivion, and Steve here is a man of so many talents. His most recent activity is a short story, a collection of short stories, 14 for tonight, so I'm kind of sorry for the panelists, except that there's some tough panelists tonight.
It's a sideline for us tonight.
Sideline for you, but we've got the challenges to work you over, and I think we'll have a mystery celebrity later on, but it's time for these four experts of ours to see what they can do with the challenges. So will you come in and sign in, please, sir? Walter. Brent. Walter Brent. Where are you from, Mr. Brent?
Chicago.
From Chicago. Well, it's nice to have you with us. The panel, as you can see, has a little different complexion tonight. We've got some new folks with us, at least one new man, Mr. Herman Wouk there, and they need all the help they can get, I'm sure. So you go over there and let them have a look at it. Will you?
Mr. Brent, how are you? Good.
Hello, Mr. Brent.
All right, Mr. Brent, over here now, if you will, and sit down next to me. And you do know how we score this operation, do you?
Yes, I do.
Fine, then let's let the people at home and those who are with us in the theater know exactly what your line is. All righty, panel, Mr. Brent is self-employed, and I think that since Miss Dorothy is the only lady on the panel, we'll let her shed the first light tonight. Suppose you begin things off, Miss Dorothy.
Mr. Brent, is there a product involved in what you do?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Start.
Do you deal in services?
Yes.
Are your services available for men and for women?
Yes.
Do you deal with groups of people as against individuals?
Yes.
You're not... I'd like to take a chance, John, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead, Fred.
Well, my chances are fatal, I mean. Are you in any form of the entertainment business?
Yes.
Are you really? Comes as a great surprise to me. I don't know. You look like a performer. I don't know why. I don't say that disparagingly because you're not performing at the moment. But are you in some form of show business?
Yes.
Are you in the outdoor game?
Yes.
Do you work with a circus or a carnival or something of that sort?
Let's have a small conference, please. I think the fair thing to do, Fred, and Mr. Brent agrees with me, is that it's perfectly reasonable to assume that he could work with a circus or a carnival.
John.
Yes, Mr. Allen.
Do you think you really get so much more in encore? Do you, well, is it a circus?
Well, it could. It's
Well,
fair to assume that...
does Mr. Brent associate with people or with animals? Do you deal with animals? Are you a trainer of some sort?
Yeah.
Do you associate with animals?
He deals with animals, yes. Associates with it.
Large animals are larger than I am?
No.
Smaller animals.
That's asking a lot, though, Fred. That's 2 down
There are
and
bigger
8 to go.
animals than I.
Mr. Allen.
Yes, Fred isn't a very big animal. I don't know.
As they go.
Well, let's get to another type of animal altogether. Do you deal with 4-footed animals?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that eliminates a lot of...
Eliminates me from working.
I'm glad you said that.
I want the record to show that we were never thinking of Fred in this connotation.
No. The record will show I'm not even thinking. It's been so long since I played this game. Are these animals in an enclosure?
Well, I would say when Mr. Brent has something to do with them, they might be described as being in an enclosure, yes.
Is there an element of danger involved when you're working with them?
Sometimes, yes.
Are these animals, could they be described as cats?
No.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Wolf.
Salamanders.
Are you visible when these animals perform?
Yes.
Do you put them through their paces, as it were?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Mr. Brent could be described as putting his associates through their paces, yes.
Have you ever been wounded by one of these animals?
You mean cut open somewhere?
Well, was he ever sorry he made a misstep in connection with one of them?
I'm sure he must have been sorry at one time or another. Were you, Mr. Brent?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Mm-hmm.
Have these animals ever appeared on television with you?
Yes.
Don't
Well,
give up.
authors have 2 feet. We're clear on that. Well, now, do these animals perform tricks?
No, I don't think so. Not in the connotation of a trick. We would give you a no on that. You might want to argue the brief later on, Herman. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are they really smaller than Fred?
Well, I take Mr. Brent's word for it, and he's the one who has, plays with him. He says they're smaller than Fred.
Well, as a layman, would you consider them smaller
I
than
would
Fred?
see that it could very easily be so, Dorothy, yes.
And
Fred,
they're not-
would you mind getting down on all fours for a
Yes.
moment?
Are they something other than dogs?
Yes.
Are they larger than, well, let's say even a police dog?
Yes.
Could you get on the back of one of them?
I think the answer to that might be, and Mr. Brent, I'm willing to stand corrected, you probably could, but how
you
long
better
you'd stay
not?
there would be another question. Is that right, sir?
That's right.
But they have 4 feet.
Yeah.
Are they in the horse, donkey, mule family?
In the horse, donkey, mule family?
No.
No horse, donkey, mule family here. That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
And they don't do any tricks at all?
No.
what sort of an act is it? Just
Maybe. Oh, excuse me.
Now listen, this is significant. Dorothy used to have weenies years ago. I think Dorothy's got a weenie. I've seen this expression. I'll give you 15
Could we have
seconds.
a conference or?
15 seconds
Yes.
for a conference.
I'm sure I'm
I
not.
will welcome it.
The only thing I was thinking, it might be a type of animal that acted rather than did tricks, like one of those goats that are always performing in Tea House of the August Moon and things like that. No, don't even ask it.
All right, the 15 seconds is up, Mr. Allen.
Is it in the monkey, the simian field?
That's good.
No.
No, that's 6 down and 4 to go, and I'm going to give you 1 minute more because I'm afraid you're not getting this one.
Yeah, we will waste this minute. You might as well quit right now. Does this animal have sharp teeth?
Yes.
Oh, good. I wish I did. Does it have fur?
Yes.
Sounds frightening, doesn't it? Teeth and fur.
Probably the only one of its kind.
Is it a wolf of some sort?
No, and I'm going to tip all the cards over because actually I think when I tell it to you, you'll say, well, why didn't we get that right away once you got into the show business field? Because Mr. Brent boxes a kangaroo in vaudeville. He has a vaudeville act. He boxes a kangaroo. Yes, darling.
They aren't four-footed. Those are hands that they box with.
No, they walk on them.
No, I think actually we'd like to think of them as hands, but they're actually considered four-footed animals.
What
sorry.
happened with the Gordon brothers with the boxing kangaroo years ago?
The kangaroos are running the act now. They took two falls out of 3. Mr. Brent, we fooled them. Thanks very much for being an interesting guest.
Kangaroos are calling them.
All right, panel. Panel, I must say we started off with a real tough one. Perhaps this will give you a better break. Let's see what you can do with another challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please, sir? Robert? Robert Klepper, is that right, sir? And where are you from, sir?
Lawrence, Kansas.
Lawrence, Kansas?
Yes.
Well, fine. That's another representative of the Midwest. You were born out in that country, were you?
Yes, that's right.
Well, shucks. It's a good farming country, and let's mislead the panel a bit, so take a walk down there and mislead them further.
Klepper?
Klepper, how are you?
Oh, Mr. Copper.
All right, Mr. Klepper, over here. Pardon me, and sit down next to me, if you will. Do you know how we score operationally?
Yes.
Fine. Then let's let the people at home and our friends here in the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, Mr. Klepper is salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Is there a product connected with your work, Mr. Klepper?
Yes, there is.
Might it be found in the home?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Woke.
Is this product that you deal with an organic, either animate or derived from animals?
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would you find it outside the home?
Yes.
Is it something likable?
I beg your pardon, Dorothy?
Well, is it a product that does some good for somebody or something?
We hope so.
Is it solid rather than liquid?
Could be.
I would think that generally, if in our terms of reference, which would not be specific, we would say it was solid and let it go at that.
Is it bigger than Steve's bread box?
Well, actually, size is a variable factor that wouldn't give you much information.
Oh, I see. But you are employed by some firm or organization.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it profit-making?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
You work for some branch of the government?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
Why isn't it making a profit then?
Sorry, we were just, actually, I forgot to give him something for the recipe for breakfast. Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
You work for some business that's either breaking even or losing money. Is there anything religious in your work?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Woke.
It's a non-profit making organization, but it's not governmental. That is correct. Is it a cooperative enterprise of some kind?
You mean in the sense of a cooperative dairy, et cetera,
Yes,
and so
yes.
forth. That's fine. That's 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Gilgallen.
Now, to get back to this product, Mr. Klepper, you say size is unimportant.
It's a variable factor and would not necessarily reveal anything.
Is color, would that be of any assistance?
Wouldn't
to
help
me?
you a bit.
Oh, well, I won't ask that. Is this something that is found in nature at all?
You mean as a completed entity, is it found in that state in nature?
No, basically, is it taken from nature, whatever this product is?
Well, you see, the thing I'm trying to determine, Dorothy, basically everything that we have by way of product comes from some natural source. To that degree, it's taken from nature.
Thank you, Joyce Kilmer.
I'll send you a tree in the morning.
Could I buy this at a store? No.
No. 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen. I'm going to give you 1 more minute.
Well, when somebody said that it couldn't be brought into the house, the people laughed at it. Can't it be brought into the house because it's objectionable in any way? Is it potent in any way?
I think the answer is yes.
It
would
might be
potent.
considered objectionable.
Is
in
it
the house.
something that's used for a specific purpose?
Yes.
It is used. It's not used. Is not used on the land.
It's not used on the land.
By way of tilling the soil?
It could be spread on the land. I mean,
We have a bare inkling of what you have in mind, Mr.
I'd
Allen.
like to
You
forget
said
it.
it's not used, and the answer would be yes, it's not.
okay. Is it used on the land?
By way of tilling the soil, do you want to do this one again?
To stimulate something to grow. I mean, is it used?
That would be. Thank you, Mr. Allen. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Allen.
Is there anything educational in your work? Are you connected with education, is what I meant to say. I imagine that's what I meant to
I
say.
would think that question would have to be answered yes.
Do you instruct in any way in the use of something? In the loosest sense of what I said, whatever I say.
In the most loose sense.
I'll see if I can tighten it up a little bit then. Now to get back to the product for a moment. Is it something that is size not important because you could have a lot of this piled up or you could have a little of it in your hand, something of that sort?
I wouldn't think so, no.
No.
I think we have to give you no on that. And you're so far away, I'm going to throw the other card over, and this is going to give you, I think, something of a kick. Actually, Mr. Klepper tests atom bombs. He works with UCLA, University of California, and they have a contract with the Atomic Energy Commission, and this is a man who tests them, which you couldn't really be expected to get. Thanks very much, sir. Tough one in seconds. Good to have you with us. And I might say, panel, that one thing I'm very pleased about is that Mr. Klepper, needless to say, is a scientist of the first rank, a doctor of philosophy, and he told me before the program that he and his wife never miss What's My Line. Isn't that nice to know? We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here's a message from Stopette.
We give you famous Stopette deodorant protection free for the rest of the winter. Starting now, all the way through February, right up to the 15th of March. 47 days of Stopette absolutely free. Yes, this extra supply of new Mr. Stopette for men is on the house when you buy the large size. Men, put yourself in this picture. Stop snitching your wife's deodorant. Get new Mr. Stopette, the only deodorant with real manpower and a He-Man aroma. Manpower created by a man, for a man. Created by world-famous Dr. Jules Montagnier. At last, here's a deodorant active enough for the active man. Use Mr. Stopette's Manpower every day to stop odor, check perspiration all the way. It can't harm even your best shirt. Get your 47-day miniature free when you buy the large size Mr. Stoppette for men, or a Stoppette spray miniature free with the large size Stoppette spray deodorant. You get both bottles, the large size and the 47-day size, for only $1.25 plus tax. This offer is limited, so don't delay.
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which part of the program my friends on the panel are all blindfolded. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questions. You ask questions in turn, one at a time, moving clockwise, and we'll begin it all with Fred Allen.
Are you in the entertainment field?
Somehow.
Somewhat?
I think the answer would be yes, Brent. Mr. Allen?
Oh, this is one question at a time,
Mhm.
yes. You are a man, of course.
I think the answer will be yes. Mr. Woke?
Are you an entertainer, sir?
Yes. Miss Kilgallen?
Are you ever seen in the Broadway theater?
Are you ever seen in the Broadway theater?
Legitimate.
Yes. Mr. Allen?
Are you on television?
Right now.
Right now.
4 to go.
4 to go. You seem to be getting a lot of laughs. Are you used to dealing with comedy?
Yes. Mr. Woke?
You said you're on television right now. Are you apt to be seen again in the next month or so?
I doubt it. So it's not to mislead you. It's possible that our guest could be on in the next month, or he could not be. It's one of those things. Miss Kilgallen.
Were you born any place other than the United States?
Yes. Mr. Allen?
Not in Brooklyn. No, are you in a picture that's currently here in New York or going to open here?
No, sir. Mr. Allen?
It's very difficult for me to hear the voice as it's being disguised, but there's a certain inflection which is going to lead me to take a wild guess, and if not, I'll just go home. Are you Victor Borga?
Yes! And this is the disguised voice right here. Victor was talking through this piece of paper and also a comb.
And I just ate the sandwich that was in it.
But I want you to know that he didn't bring any of the sandwich in with him, so that the rest of us have to stay hungry. Of course, this is the gentleman who, just for those few who didn't see him, sat on our panel one night, and we all had hysterics, and I wasn't a bit surprised that the audience did again tonight. You've just finished that rather startling one-man run, which ran, what, more than a year? And
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years, all by that one-man show, and you're going to take it out around the country, are you?
Yes, I'm starting Friday
Golly day.
in Worcester, Massachusetts, and Boston, Baltimore,
Worcester, Boston, Baltimore, Washington, too?
Birmingham. No, what is it? Birmingham.
Birmingham. The one we have.
There's another ham. Well, I can't. Toledo, and various. Just sold a ticket in Toledo.
I must say, Victor, you're the only one I've ever known who could get a laugh out of just listing towns that you were going to go to, you know? What about your television, though? Actually, I hope we didn't mislead you, Herman. He is going to do some television programs, spectaculars for CBS, but I don't know whether the first one's been said.
No, it hasn't.
It hasn't been said.
No.
Are they waiting for you to light?
There have been said a lot about it, but it hasn't been said, actually.
Have you got a sponsor for it?
No.
Well, that's the trouble.
Actually, we have.
You can set everything, but...
We have a sponsor, but he hasn't made up his mind.
Well, Victor, I must say that having you on television tonight was delightful, and may I thank you for being
thank
our
you,
guest.
John. It was a pleasure.
Will you say hello to the panel? Because I know they'd all like to see you. A most remarkable man who not only does remarkable things with the piano, but if you're a resident in New York and have any taste for Cornish hen, every time you pick it up, it's one of Victor's hens. He raises Cornish hen. We'll be back in just a moment, but first, here is a word from Stopette.
Here's a real stopper. A stopper deodorant, a stopper offer. For a limited time, we give you free this 47-day miniature of Stopette lotion spray deodorant when you buy the large size. Mind you, 47 days free. Stop perspiration odor all day with famous Stopette spray deodorant. Under warm winter clothes, in overheated rooms, you need a stopper like Stopette. And how wonderful to know it won't harm even the most delicate fabric. All winter long, all year round. Start every day this way. Poof, there goes perspiration. Today's improved Stopette protects even longer, and Stopette's gentle lotion ingredients are so soothing to your skin. So be sure to get your free 47-day miniature. It's perfect for travel, dresser top, or just as a spare every time you buy the large Stopette.
Or buy the large Mr. Stopette for men and get a free miniature bottle of Mr. Stopette.
You get both bottles, the large size and the 47-day size, for only $1.25 plus tax. This offer may end at any time, so don't miss out.
And now, before the panel says goodnight, may I remind you to tune in again next Sunday evening at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line? For other localities, please check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series. And now, a word from next week's sponsor.
Throughout the world, only one company produces all types of business machines and systems. Remington Rand, creators of over 160 accounting and punch card machines, 120 record control and filing systems, 80 adding machines and printing calculators, and a complete line of electronic computing systems. Remington Rand, manufacturers of over 20,000 products to serve the world of business.
And now, if I may say first, Mr. Woke, that it was very nice having you on our panel. Hope you'll be back with us again one of these days. Now I'll say good night.
Night.
Good night, Herman.
Good night, Mr. Woke. Good night, Fred.
Good night, Dorothy, and I'll say good night for Bennett, too. And good night, Steve.
Good night, Fred.
See you tomorrow night.
Okay, it's nice to be back again, John. Good night.
Good night. And by the way, Desi Arnaz will be on our panel next Sunday, so we expect some more fireworks. And good night to the panel, good night to everybody, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Travel arrangements on What's My Line are made through American Airlines. American Airlines flies our contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagship. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.